Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome you at the ECR workshop. My name is Barbara Hegedűs and I am a Deputy Mayor of Veszprém in Hungary, and I am also the member of the ECR group in the Committee of the Regions. It's a tradition that every year the ECR group has organized a workshop during this important week, and this year we were also very happy that our event was very popular and we received a record number of registrations in a very short time. I think this proves also the importance of our topic, and we will talk about the benefits of tourism for local and regional authorities, but also we'll talk about the challenges and the impact that the sector has on local populations. My own city, Veszprém, is located in the northern western part of Hungary, close to the Lake Balaton. And we are very happy that this year is very special for us because Veszprém is the European capital of culture. And so I see firsthand the power of the culture has on the tourism sector. Veszprém started this year with a grand opening in January and is offering close to 3,000 cultural programs this year. And we are very happy that this year the number of foreign visitors has doubled this year. And we are sure that the tourism helps to promote and preserve the local culture, traditions and the heritage. Prior to the COVID pandemic, travel and tourism had become a key sector in the world economy, accounting for 10% of the global GDP and more than 300 million jobs worldwide. However, while tourism reaps certain benefits, it also brings with it a cost, which does not only impact local populations in the terms of societal factors, but also in terms of housing, culture, heritage, and environment. The commercialization of local culture can have detrimental effects on the way in which national heritage is preserved. The influx of tourists to one area can increase environmental pollution, and local populations could find themselves at the mercy of a volatile job market in which work opportunities became seasonal and insecure. Of course, that being said, that there are various positive effects can be enjoyed by the local population, for example, infrastructure developments, better connected transportation system, and the generation of more jobs within this sector. But what we need is a tourism that can reconcile market needs with environmental sustainability policies, and most importantly, which is responding to the phenomenon of over-tourism. In our workshop, we propose first-hand accounts of local and regional authorities' efforts, challenges and expectations with regards to the tourism sector. Now let's hear from our panelists, but firstly, allow me to introduce them. Our first panelist is Ms. Roberta Angelilli, Vice President of the Lazio region in Italy and member of the ECR group in the Committee of the Regions. Mr. Juraj Droba is the President of the Bratislava region in Slovakia and one of the Vice Presidents of the ECR group in the Committee of the Regions. Marshal Bradislav Oltyr is the President of the Podkarpacki region in Poland and the first Vice President of the ECR group in the Committee of the Regions. Ms. Dagmar Skodová-Pármová, Major of the Český Budějovic, sorry for the pronunciation, in the Czech Republic and member of the ECR group in the COR. Last but not least, Michela Monaco, a young elected politician and city councillor of Florence, Italy. Each speaker will have 8 minutes to make their introductory remarks and to answer the first question. The first question I have for Roberta Angelini. Italy is well known for its rich cultural traditions and is home to 4 of the world's most visited art cities: Rome, Milan, Venice, Florence. And as mentioned previously, the tourism industry can offer the opportunity to earn revenue to support the local economy, preserve art heritage resources, and promote local businesses. My question is that what do you see as the biggest challenge for the tourism sector in the region? And in particular, how is the phenomenon of over-tourism perceived?
Thank you very much. Chiedo scusa se alla conclusione del mio intervento dovrò andare via, ma ho un impegno in Italia domani mattina e quindi devo assolutamente andare, però ci tenevo ad essere presente anche perché è diciamo, la mia prima volta a Bruxelles come vicepresidente della regione Lazio. Sono stata 20 anni al Parlamento europeo come deputato italiano al Parlamento europeo e 5 anni dal 2009 al 2014 vicepresidente del Parlamento europeo. Allora, il tema è un tema importante, quello del turismo, perché è un settore trainante dell'economia europea, ovviamente anche dell'economia dei nostri Stati membri e nello specifico parlo del Lazio, è un settore trainante. Il Lazio è una regione situata nel centro dell'Italia, una regione con grandi bellezze culturali, naturali, architettoniche, proprio un patrimonio straordinario che attira ogni anno un patrimonio straordinario che attira ogni anno milioni di visitatori. Ovviamente nel Lazio c'è anche Roma, la capitale d'Italia, che di per sé è un polo di attrazione straordinaria. Vi dico soltanto che è una notizia di questi giorni che nel 2022 Roma si è confermata la capitale italiana del turismo con un incasso di quasi 9 miliardi di euro, quindi un successo strepitoso, straordinario, al di sopra dei livelli pre-Covid, e ci troveremo a breve ad affrontare il Giubileo 2025 e speriamo anche l'Expo 2030, perché Roma è candidata all'Expo 2030. Quindi sicuramente una crescita straordinaria, grandissime opportunità economiche, occupazionali, ma anche grandi sfide, perché ovviamente ci sono tantissimi problemi e il nostro obiettivo deve essere quello di uno sviluppo, di un turismo sostenibile. Da questo punto di vista la Regione Lazio ha individuato 4 punti di criticità, e cioè il problema dell'overtourism, quindi il sovraffollamento, l'impatto ambientale, il lavoro, perché spesso in questo settore, nel settore del turismo, vengono impiegate persone precarie o come si suol dire a bassa intensità di conoscenza, e poi tutta la sfida della digitalizzazione e dell'innovazione. Per quanto riguarda l'overtourism, un approccio che stiamo valutando in maniera positiva è quello delle Destination Management Organization, quindi un progetto che si concentra su cluster tematici e su ambiti territoriali. Quali sono i campi tematici? Il turismo culturale, diciamo identitario, arte, storia, cultura, siti archeologici, eventi culturali e artistici, quindi musica, teatro, spettacolo dal vivo, rievocazioni storiche, luoghi della memoria, ne abbiamo tantissimi, poi il turismo outdoor, i cammini, gli itinerari, i cammini religiosi e non religiosi, sport ed ecoturismo, e poi salute, enogastronomia, turismo rurale. Proprio questa mattina in Regione Lazio si sta discutendo della legge sull'enoturismo, quindi sul turismo del vino. Noi abbiamo tantissime IGP, tantissime denominazioni, quindi vini d'eccellenza, e sull'oleoturismo, cioè itinerari dedicati all'olio. Quindi ecco, l'obiettivo è quello di un equilibrio tra la promozione turistica e la conservazione delle risorse, quindi come dire, l'obiettivo è un'offerta destagionalizzata in grado di proporre itinerari diversificati e di far conoscere tutto il territorio e 365 giorni l'anno, quindi non soltanto concentrare su pochi siti immensi flussi di turisti. Tra l'altro ci stiamo concentrando anche sui grandi eventi, anche sì po' fuori stagione. L'ultimo è stato la Ryder Cup, quindi un evento tutto dedicato al golf che ha avuto luogo nei pressi di Roma tra il 29 settembre e i primi giorni di ottobre. È stato un successo clamoroso perché appunto si è cercato di coinvolgere altri territori al di là della capitale. Ovviamente il grande impegno è proprio quello sulla riduzione dell'impatto ambientale, ma come dicevo prima anche la formazione professionale, le competenze sono importanti, quindi bisogna aprire sempre di più il turismo proprio a competenze, altrimenti il turismo diventa un settore dove vengono impiegati prevalentemente lavoratori precari, lavoratori stagionali o lavoratori che non hanno un livello di competenza evoluto. E infine la grandissima frontiera è proprio quella della innovazione e della digitalizzazione al servizio del turismo, per un turismo sostenibile che sia allo stesso tempo una grande opportunità di sviluppo e insieme però uno sviluppo sostenibile che non abbia un impatto ambientale negativo, un spreco di risorse, un eccessivo utilizzo delle risorse. È necessario un piano d'azione che certamente deve essere valutato a livello locale, cioè le regioni devono essere devono essere le istituzioni che in primo luogo devono avere un ruolo importante nelle decisioni, sicuramente gli Stati nazionali, ma l'Europa può fare molto per una strategia europea per lo sviluppo sostenibile. Questo cercando di anche avere sempre di più progetti condivisi. Ne cito per quanto riguarda la Regione Lazio 2, un Interreg con 9 paesi del Mediterraneo, proprio per migliorare la conoscenza dei dati sul turismo e ridurre la stagionalità dei flussi, e altri 2 progetti interessanti sempre Interreg, uno sul turismo fluviale molto interessante con altre 7 partner, e un altro con sempre paesi del Mediterraneo per lo sviluppo del turismo costiero marittimo sempre sostenibile e responsabile. Ovviamente concludo dicendo che le istituzioni europee possono fare molto, il Comitato delle Regioni può essere un luogo di incontro per condividere esperienze diverse, ovviamente soprattutto le esperienze di successo, ma anche per evidenziare criticità, perché la condivisione delle opportunità, delle buone pratiche, ma anche dei fallimenti può essere un modo per affrontare al meglio le sfide del futuro. Grazie.
Thank you very much, Ms. Angelilli. Before we continue with the panelists, it's our honor to welcome our president of the ECR group in the COR, Mr. Marco Marsilio, and I would like to ask him to provide some opening remarks. Thank you very much.
Grazie Barbara, grazie Roberta Mi scuso per non essere arrivato prima, ma l'apertura della settimana europea delle città e delle regioni prevedeva un mio intervento, è stato più lungo del previsto il programma e quindi non ho potuto fare le premesse, l'apertura di questi lavori. Ringrazio Barbara Egidius per l'attività, anche per il coordinamento di questo incontro, e il mio vicepresidente Vladislav Ortil e gli altri relatori, 5 relatori di 5 paesi diversi, un'importante occasione di scambio di esperienze sul tema del turismo. Il turismo è un elemento molto importante dell'economia delle nostre nazioni, dell'Europa in generale, un asse portante della nostra società ed è anche un elemento che permette la valorizzazione dell'identità culturale dei nostri popoli. È un turismo intelligente fatto valorizzando le specificità, le differenze, le particolarità, l'unicità di ciò che ogni nostro paese, regione, città, nazione può offrire. È la carta vincente per questa sfida. I posti non sono tutti uguali e ciò che è identico in ogni parte del mondo non c'è ragione di andarlo a vedere a costo di numerose ore di viaggio e di anche importante spesa economica. Per questo il consiglio che posso dare anche come Presidente e amministratore di una regione è quello di individuare ciò che c'è di speciale, di caratteristico, di unico nel proprio territorio e trovare gli strumenti per farlo conoscere con operazioni di marketing territoriale intelligenti. Nel marketing territoriale un ruolo importante lo giocano i fondi europei, in particolare il Fondo Europeo di Sviluppo Regionale, il FESR, che prevede una quota consistente che può essere devoluta a questo segmento. Vi posso portare nel brevissimo intervento, perché nel frattempo è iniziata anche la conferenza dei presidenti e devo rappresentare il gruppo all'interno della conferenza. Abbiamo cercato di sviluppare in questi anni un turismo legato all'organizzazione dei grandi eventi culturali e sportivi. È stato anche un argomento che ci ha visto raccontare all'interno del gruppo ECR l'esperienza fatta dagli amici polacchi nella città di Cracovia, che ha ospitato i campionati europei. Nella nostra regione io ho avuto la possibilità e la capacità di portare eventi eccezionali come la grande partenza del Giro d'Italia, è la seconda manifestazione ciclistica per audience nel mondo dopo il Tour de France, che ci ha dato modo di far vedere alcune particolarità della nostra costa e dei nostri paesaggi, sia costieri che montani, al mondo intero, con risultati immediatamente apprezzabili sul piano del ritorno turistico. Andrò giovedì a rappresentare questi risultati alla festa nazionale dello sport organizzata dal più importante quotidiano sportivo italiano, la Gazzetta dello Sport, in quel di Trento, il prossimo giovedì, e rappresenterò dei numeri che vi posso anticipare. La nostra regione ha conosciuto, in una stagione in cui complessivamente il turismo è rimasto abbastanza fermo e ha avuto anzi anche qualche segno negativo, un risultato di crescita quasi in doppia cifra, ma io dico anche in doppia cifra, al 10%, perché i dati definitivi devono essere ancora collezionati tutti insieme, che è il risultato di queste politiche che hanno portato a sviluppare questo legame importante tra eventi culturali, eventi sportivi nazionali e internazionali e promozione del territorio. Un altro elemento di successo è stato aver ospitato in questi anni la squadra di calcio del Napoli, peraltro nell'ultimo anno campione d'Italia, quindi con una grande partecipazione popolare ai festeggiamenti e quindi al ritiro estivo, oltre 100.000 presenze nella sola settimana in cui la squadra era presente nel nostro territorio. Questi sono solo alcuni spunti, sono certo che gli altri relatori sapranno arricchire il confronto, il dibattito e le esperienze in questa occasione, quindi vi lascio ai vostri lavori e vado a rappresentare il gruppo dei conservatori nella riunione dei presidenti. Buon lavoro a tutti.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Now we continue with the second question. I would like to ask from Jura Droba, President of the Bratislava region. After the pandemic, we had to face with massive losses in tourism, and that's why my question is that could you tell us a little bit more about what do you think, what is the role of local and regional authorities in helping the sector to revive post-COVID, especially with regards to the acute shortage of workers or the realization of infrastructure projects?
Thank you for the question. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm from a Libertarian Party, so our policy is basically that the government should not be standing in the way of skilled entrepreneurs to do their own business, and the government should get out of the way. Tourism is that sector which normally should not and does not need the help of the governments, but in the times of COVID and similar situations, there is a necessary involvement of the local and regional governments to, first of all, help those who are suffering the lack of business, and secondly, also think about what the region or what the country as such wants to promote in the future, and which areas should we be focusing on. And still saying that market should decide more than the governments, but the government should be helpful in the times of need. So local and regional authorities are key drivers in promoting tourism as a policy, and the powers of our governments extend beyond marketing of the region as a tourist destination. I will tell you a few words about Bratislava and Bratislava region. We are the smallest of all regions in Slovakia. In terms of the landmass, we are only 2,000 square kilometers compared to other regions which are typically between 8 and 10,000 square kilometers. We have a metropolitan center of Bratislava, which is the vibrant young capital of 500,000 people with a lot of international flight and other connections. We have some historical and cultural specifics which make us different from the rest of Slovakia. We also have a much larger cultural diversity, and there are 4 rather differing subregions in our small region of Bratislava. Prime example is the Small Carpathians, which is a mountain region well known for wine and also for some outdoor activities, most namely cycling and off-road cycling. And this is attractive to even visitors from the neighboring countries and neighboring regions. I'm convinced that it is of the utmost importance that local and regional authorities promote the development of the tourism sector, and the role of tourism in economy should be much higher in Slovakia. I will give you some statistics at the end, but tourism doesn't contribute almost at all to the Slovakian economy. Bratislava region is not only the gateway for tourists in Slovakia, but also the strongest Slovak region for short-term and foreign tourism. Alongside these trends, we encounter diverse challenges that need to be addressed through effective destination management and appropriate measures. Currently, our region experiences one-day and short-term tourism, resulting in a lower number of overnight stays. A significant number of tourists only come for a day on the big cruise boats on the Danube River. most of the time either staying on the boat or spending most of their time and money in Vienna and Budapest. So one of our challenges is to keep them at least 1 or 2 nights in Bratislava. According to the tourism development concept of the Bratislava region until 2030, the impact of COVID was disastrous. The highest decrease of visitors among Slovak regions, up by 68.5%. Our region is the 3rd most visited region in Slovakia, and it used to be number 1 before. There was a decrease of foreign tourists by 76%, decrease of domestic tourists by 54%. When I talk about the decrease of tourists, I mean the number of overnight stays. I'm not talking about the revenues because they are more difficult to measure. A decrease of employment in accommodation and food services by 12.3%, and 5.5% was the share of employees working in the field of cultural and creative industry in the Bratislava region in 2019. There was also a significant decrease in sales of accommodation establishments by 72%, and a slight increase in the average length of stay by approximately 10%. Now we are at a beautiful 2.28 days per visitor. The only positive news is actually that we increased the length of the stay of individuals. So our immediate priority in the tourism sector is to enhance and complete our basic infrastructure and establish efficient processes for the further development of tourism in the region. I will mention one best practice. That's the Bratislava Regional Tourism has developed a user-friendly application designed to promote the region, its sites, and to provide visitors with up-to-date information about the region's top tourist offerings in the Bratislava region, with opening times, latest updates, some small promotional information, etc. However, when considering the expansion and development of tourism within our region, the critical factor at play is securing the necessary investments, and this is where the local and regional governments come into play, and not only them, but also the money coming from, for example, Interreg, and funds provided by the central government to build up some of the critical infrastructure necessary as a fundament for promoting and developing tourism. So the GDP share of tourism in Slovakia in 2020 was 1.5%. This is the COVID number from December 2020. Before that, it was 3.0%, still almost nothing. So, you know, in the other words, we have a lot of opportunity to get much better. Bratislava region is extremely special because we are right on the border of 3 countries, Hungary, Austria, and Slovakia. We are neighboring 1 Hungarian region and 2 Austrian regions, Niederösterreich and Burgenland. And in Hungary, it's Sopron, Moson, and the third one, Győr megye. So there is a lot of opportunity also to attract tourists from these neighboring regions. The Austrians seem to start liking the cycling tourism on the Danube, which you can lump well with wine, surprisingly. That makes people stay overnight because they cannot bike back. And also the potential of the Danube River and the small Danube is immense compared to the Czech Republic, for example. We are not using it at all. The Czechs are the nation of kayakers and rafters. I think we have much nicer waters in Slovakia, but we simply didn't know how to use it up yet. So this is a big potential as well. And then we have some very niche but very affluent areas of tourism. When I say affluent, I mean that they have a potential to bring very solvent, very, very wealthy visitors. Those are, for example, thematic tours on the Roman history, thematic tours on the music, and Bratislava has a very rich musical history with some of the most famous global composers such as Mozart, Rubinstein, and a few others, Haydn. Then ecotourism, wine tourism I have already mentioned, and then there are some really thematic things, Habsburg history, Palfi history, and the 2 which are developing quite well lately, and those are actually doing much better than Hungary or Czech Republic is golfing. That's Austria is definitely #1 in the region, but for some reason Hungarians don't play golf. I don't know why. And the Czechs played golf a lot in the 90s and early 2000s, but somehow you are stopping to play golf and your numbers of golfers are going down. And also culinary and gastronomy tourism, which is also a challenge. I recently learned that the central government needs to pay some millions of euros to be listed in the Michelin guides. I think there are some restaurants which already deserve to be there, but this money needs to be paid by the government. So, in a nutshell, this is about Bratislava region and our challenges in the area of tourism. Thanks.
Thank you very much. My third question is for Władysław Olty, Marshal of the Podkarpacki region in Poland. The Podkarpacki region is an area with very large opportunities for tourism development. This is due to the presence of a protected area and multi-ethnic cultural heritage of the region. Your regional strategy has enhanced cross-border cooperation with neighboring regions in the creation of coherent network of bicycle and greenway routes. Could you tell us about the remaining obstacles of cross-border cooperation in the development of sustainable tourism in the Carpathian microregion and how the war in Ukraine impacts Podkarpacki tourism industry?
Dziękuję bardzo, Pani Przewodnicząca. Szanowni Państwo, Podkarpacie jest regionem, który leży w południowo-wschodniej części naszego kraju. Graniczy z Ukrainą, graniczy z Słowacją. To oczywiście są atuty, są oczywiście pozytywne strony, ale i także ostatnie wydarzenia i wojna spowodowały, że turystyka na tym oczywiście turystyka na tym cierpi. Proszę Państwa, 2 miliony mieszkańców, które mieszka w Podkarpaciu, stanowi naprawdę bardzo taką ciekawą i specyficzną społeczność, która szanuje dziedzictwo, szanuje kulturę, szanuje swoją przeszłość, ale jednocześnie także działa na rzecz innowacyjności bardzo dynamicznie. I te dwa obszary, czyli dziedzictwo, kultura, tradycja, bardzo dobrze się łączy z innowacyjnością i także te aspekty staramy się przełożyć na turystykę. No oczywiście Rzymu nie mamy, mogę tu powiedzieć w momencie, kiedy słuchałem wystąpienie pani Roberty Angeli. No ale tym Rzymem mogą być inne atuty, które Podkarpacie oczywiście posiada. Chcę powiedzieć, że też w całym rozwoju turystyki, oczywiście turystyki zrównoważonej, chcę podkreślić, że nie turystyki równomiernej, prawda, czy nie turystyki, która jest równo obdarowana w środki, w fundusze, bo jak wiemy, każdy region, każda część Podkarpacia ma swoje atuty, ma swoje specyfiki, a one to muszą mieć dopasowane źródło finansowania i muszą mieć dopasowane też projekty i działania, które będą czyniły tą turystykę zrównoważoną, co oczywiście nie oznacza równomiernie wspieraną. Każdy ma swoje walory, każdy ma swoje mocne strony i chcę powiedzieć, że Podkarpacie ma piękne góry, Bieszczady, które są częścią oczywiście Karpat. Ma też oczywiście piękne zasoby wodne, sztuczne jeziora i też piękne górskie rzeki. Ma wspaniałą architekturę drewnianą. No i wreszcie ma szlak turystyki rowerowej Green Velo, który jest częścią europejskiego szlaku, który jest ulokowany aż w 5 województwach wzdłuż granicy wschodniej naszego kraju. Oczywiście patrząc na ten element rozwoju turystyki staramy się, aby zabezpieczyć te nasze piękne walory, czyli to nasze dziedzictwo zgromadzone w parkach, w różnego rodzaju parkach, w 2 parkach narodowych, Beskidzkim i oczywiście Parku Bieszczadzkim, też parkach krajobrazowych, żeby uchronić je przed, no, że tak powiem, takim agresywnym rozwojem i takim natłokiem też oczywiście turystów. Bieszczady stanowią takie dzikie góry, dziki krajobraz, niezniszczony, no można powiedzieć niezabudowany, niezindustrializowany i to jest taka wartość sama w sobie, dlatego też musimy organizować w różnych miejscach różne atrakcje, żeby ten ruch turystyczny, który siłą rzeczy bardzo z dużym natężeniem trafia w Bieszczady, rozlokować po innych częściach województwa. No i oczywiście marzy się nam i tak to dzisiaj organizujemy, żeby ta turystyka bardzo kwalifikowana, bo dziś turysta poszukuje określonej oferty, prawda? Jeden bardzo lubi jechać rowerem, też może przesiąść się na kajak, inny będzie chciał wędrować, potem wsiądzie na konia, pojedzie bryczką, także staramy się te swoje wszystkie atuty i walory, że tak powiem, łączyć w wspólną ofertę, która by zainteresowała danego specyficznego i szczególnego oczywiście turystę. No teraz jak popatrzymy na tą sytuację, która wiąże się właśnie z tym posiadaniem, no można powiedzieć, ponad 50% powierzchni to są parki krajobrazowe, parki narodowe, czyli miejsca, które podlegają szczególnej ochronie, no i można powiedzieć, że one są jakimś takim utrudnieniem, prawda, bo nie wszystko tam można zrobić, nie wszystko można tam zbudować i dobrze, ale my staramy się, żeby tą przyrodę i to dziedzictwo zachować i w sposób taki ekologiczny wprowadzić tam oczywiście naszego turystę, który przyjeżdża nie tylko z naszego województwa, ale też spoza granic naszego województwa, spoza granic naszego kraju. Mamy turystów zagranicznych. Oczywiście jest to no, w granicach 7-8%, ale też jest to turysta, myślę, ważny i turysta, na którego po prostu czekamy. Patrząc na źródła finansowania, którymi chcemy rozwijać tą turystykę, to przede wszystkim pamiętajmy o tym, że turystyka potrzebuje infrastruktury, potrzebuje dróg, potrzebuje komunikacji kolejowej, potrzebuje właśnie szlaków, przystani kajakowych na rzekach, potrzebuje ścieżek rowerowych, oczywiście obudowanych w punkty obsługi rowerzystów, potrzebuje bazy hotelowej i naszą rolą, zadaniem samorządu jest oczywiście stworzenie warunków do powstawania tych instytucji, tych firm i firm oczywiście małych i średnich. Dlatego też główny strumień środków, który płynie do turystyki, pochodzi z środków europejskich, ale też budżet naszego województwa jest swoistym wkładem własnym do tych funduszy. Korzystamy też z projektów i środków, które dedykowane są na poziomie naszego rządu. Proszę Państwa, jak wojna wpłynęła, jak wpłynął COVID, jak wpłynęły te dwa takie dramatyczne wydarzenia, czyli COVID i oczywiście wojna na naszą turystykę, to myślę, że to jest zjawisko powszechne. Jeżeli chodzi o COVID w każdym kraju, to wszystko myślę Państwo znają. Dzisiaj odnosimy wszystkie nasze statystyki do roku 2019, czyli do czasu sprzed COVID-u. No i mogę powiedzieć, że powoli wracamy do tamtych parametrów i wskaźników, ale też oczywiście duże znaczenie i ograniczenie w turystyce spowodowała właśnie wojna, agresja Rosji putinowskiej na Ukrainę, przybycie też milionów uchodźców, bo taka jest statystyka, przez województwo podkarpackie przeszło 6 milionów uchodźców, kobiet z dziećmi. I też no, mogę powiedzieć, że to w statystykach się pojawiło, prawda, bo te osoby zajmowały infrastrukturę związaną z turystyką, ale to wiemy, że ten wskaźnik wzrostu w stosunku do COVID-u mówiący o tym, że to 236% wzrosło, ale to nie jest to, co oczywiście temu oddaje. Czas rozpoczęcia tej agresji wiązał się z tym, że turyści odwoływali swoje pobyty wcześniej zarezerwowane, niejednokrotnie wycofywali zaliczki, które oczywiście płacili jako część przedpłaty na Szczególnie dotyczyło to tych pobytów rodzinnych, prawda? Wszyscy obawiali się tego, co wiąże się z tym, że za granicą naszego kraju trwają działania wojenne, chociaż odległe od granicy, ale niemniej jednak strach i obawy, szczególnie rodzin z małymi dziećmi, miały miejsce. Dzisiaj powoli ta turystyka wraca, tak jak powiedziałem, poraniona tym COVID-em, poraniona też tą wojną na Ukrainie i myślę, że za chwilę będziemy mówili, że wróciliśmy i przekraczamy już, myślę, że to będzie w tym roku, który przed nami, wskaźniki, które były osiągane w 2019 roku. Staramy się oczywiście korzystać dzisiaj w mniejszym zakresie z przejść granicznych z Ukrainą, też ze szlaków turystycznych, które łączą nas ze Słowacją. Dla przykładu mogę powiedzieć, że uruchomiliśmy pociąg do Międzylaborce, który po prostu do Muzeum Andy Warhola wozi naprawdę naszych turystów na jednodniowy czy dwudniowy wypad i to się cieszy bardzo dużą popularnością, jest taką odskocznią, prawda, od tego, co oferujemy u siebie oczywiście w województwie. Te nasze relacje związane z działaniami na rozwój turystyki ze Słowacją, z Ukrainą wspieramy z programów transgranicznych, z Interregu, ale i także własnymi wspólnymi działaniami, jeżeli oczywiście się porozumiemy. I naprawdę bardzo poważnie traktujemy te projekty. One czasami są małe w wymiarze i finansowym, często zostawiają infrastrukturę, ale są takim zaczynem, pokazują to miejsce, które jest elementem zainteresowania naszego projektu i później już firmy małe i średnie po tej naszej takiej no, swoistej, można powiedzieć, interwencji już same sobie radzą, same tą atrakcję dalej rozwijają i oferują w sposób profesjonalny w swoich ofertach biur turystycznych, które no, są takie kluczowe w rozwoju naszej turystyki. Mamy naszą podkarpacką organizację turystyczną, która jest tym elementem, który wspomaga, promuje, że tak powiem, systemowo, ale produkt każdy musi wygenerować sam, oczywiście mając te wszystkie doświadczenia, które wcześniej my możemy zbudować i oczywiście, tak jak tu było powiedziane, sam musi liczyć pieniądze, bilansować się i oczywiście korzystać z tych wszystkich atrakcji Podkarpacia. Dziękuję bardzo.
Thank you very much. My next question is to Dagmar Skodowa-Parmova, Major of České Budějovice. Mayor, your city, České Budějovice, is situated about 150 kilometers from the Czech capital of Prague. Veszprém, my city, has the same distance from the capital, Budapest, almost the same. So I understand that it is a huge challenge how we can attract more tourists and how we can attract tourists from the capital. And that's why my question is that what your experience, how can the tourists be more evenly distributed and drawn into the regions rather than staying in just the capital, Prague? Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope that everybody knows that the capital Prague is located in Central Europe, in the Czech Republic. And if you go to the southern part of our country, you will find my city, České Budějovice. And I hope that after today's workshop, everybody of you will be keen on coming to visit České Budějovice. Because we know in the Czech Republic that every second foreign tourist stay in Prague. Really. We have many culture and historical monuments distributed and spread all over the country, but the attractivity of Prague is really high. And we are trying to attract also the tourists by some labeling of our cities and heritage attractions. And as we see it in the examples of UNESCO heritage sites, it was a successful story. Before the COVID-19 came, our neighboring city, Český Krumlov, was overcrowded by tourists from all over the world. And we were facing the over-tourism problem. But after the COVID-19, there is a limited number of tourists, and the structure of them is changing. There are no Chinese tourists, there are no Asian tourists as well, but we are attracting tourists from Europe. We are attracting tourists also from the Czech Republic itself. So we are trying to upgrade our offer in South Bohemia. And as a member of the local parliament, I faced the change after the COVID-19 crisis. And nowadays, the sustainability in tourism is based on really quality infrastructure and quality education. Quality education in gastronomy, in accommodation services, and we are now trying to attract young people to choose such study programs for their future jobs. And it is not enough. I must tell you, our South Bohemian region is very well known by some sports activities, kayaking and canoeing, and going for cycling tours. But we are trying to attract also some other target groups, like companies who are keen on finding special spots for their convention activities, workshops. And our city, České Budějovice, is now trying to extend the offer for such events. But today, in the year 2023, we are on the top of our capacities. And it means that we have to extend our capacities, facilities, and extend also the offer of some events, cultural events, not only touristic ones. And as we have heard the successful story of Veszprém, the annual capital of culture of Europe in 2023, our city was also competing for this title. And I must tell you, we were successful. On the 30th of June, we obtained the title for the year 2028. 5 years of preparing and training and everything. We are now in the right direction, how to make the tourism and culture offer sustainable, because we know that it is also important to have sustainable capacities, sustainable quality, and not only some unique events in tourism, some unique events in culture. And our main theme in České Budějovice and South Bohemian region is the permaculture. permanent culture in everything. So we would like to raise the attraction of our region, the South Bohemia and the České Budějovice city, for the visitors, but also for our inhabitants. And my goal is, as I will try to be revoted as the mayor of the city, that we will also extend the number of inhabitants, thanks to our title, the European Capital of Culture. Because it's matching together, it is raising the quality of life, it's attracting the real potential of growth. And it was said by my colleagues, by my speakers, that the regions may be attractive by their gastronomy. And what is famous for České Budějovice? It's the cradle of Budweiser beer. Really. Come and try to taste our local Budweiser, the real original Budweiser beer. And we are promoting not only the cultural heritage, not only the historical heritage, but also our destination management is focusing on the beer passes, beer culture, and we also have got a beer museum located in our city. So now you know where to go for the next visit in the Czech Republic. And I think that it is also important to attract the local entrepreneurs, the local cultural institutions. They are not entrepreneurs as we know it. They are cultural organizations who needs subsidizing. But if we are cleverly preparing for the big year 2028, we will make the offer sustainable. And you maybe know that the preparation of such European Capital of Culture needs a lot of money given by the city, by the region, by the local Ministry of Culture, and by the EU. And we know that we are not alone. We are in the network of successful stories by other ECOC cities like Veszprém. Our partner city is Linz, located 100 kilometers southern in Austria, and we are cooperating together thanks to some Interreg projects, Interreg activities, and we are cooperating on other levels, but thanks to the European Union. So please come to visit our really wonderful city, České Budějovice.
Thank you very much. Just I would like to add that the European Capital of Culture program is it's a unique opportunity, I think, for a city. Veszprém is a small city, 60,000 people is living there, but in these 8 months, 1.2 million people has visited our city center, and we didn't count the people who every day is working there. We could collect the data from the mobile phones, so it's a real number. So it's a huge tourist flow in our city and in our region. So I wish you good luck, and I think it's a really good opportunity. To the next question, I would like to ask Michela Monaco, young elected politician and the city councillor of Florence in Italy. The accessible tourism is about making it easy for everyone to enjoy tourism experience. Making tourism more accessible is a social responsibility. That's why I would like to ask you to kindly share your personal experience and whether you believe that tourism is accessible for all or whether a lot more progress needs to be made. Thank you.
Grazie della domanda. Innanzitutto ci tengo a ringraziare il gruppo ECR che ha fatto in modo che fossi qui oggi per portare il mio contributo alla discussione. Come tutti viaggio ultimamente da sola per lavoro o anche per piacere e da quando ho iniziato a convivere con una disabilità motoria mi sono dovuta confrontare con una realtà diversa, non sempre facilissima, ritrovandomi così a guardare il mondo da un'altra angolazione con una consapevolezza maggiore. E con piacere oggi posso affermare che sia a livello nazionale che europeo negli ultimi anni si parla sempre più spesso di turismo accessibile, ma siamo ancora molto lontani da un'accessibilità completa che agevola efficacemente la persona con disabilità, garantendone soprattutto l'autonomia. Da turista che vive questa tematica in prima persona, penso che bisognerebbe prima di tutto rendere o creare delle strutture ricettizie veramente ricettive, veramente accessibili. Infatti la prima difficoltà che si incontra nel visitare una città o nuovi posti sta nel fatto che non è semplice, se non a volte veramente impossibile, trovare strutture che riescano ad ospitare persone con disabilità. Personalmente mi sono ritrovata spesso a visitare città molto accessibili, con servizi pubblici, marciapiedi e strade molto ampie e sgombre, ma con strutture ricettive accessibili solo sulla carta, trovandomi spesso a gestirmi da sola in camere non accessibili e non adattate per la mia disabilità. Questo mi è successo ultimamente anche a Madrid e a Londra, che sono città veramente accessibilissime. Invece a Bruxelles purtroppo mi trovo male sia dentro le mura di un edificio che fuori. E mi dispiace molto perché in questa città mi capita spesso di recarmi per lavoro. Innanzitutto gli alberghi accessibili di questa città sono veramente pochi e per non parlare anche dei servizi e dei servizi pubblici e delle strutture della capitale europea per antonomasia. Pensate che ho dovuto prendere addirittura un albergo lontano da qui per poter trovare qualcosa che fosse accessibile sia fisicamente che economicamente, perché spesso, anzi sempre, l'accessibilità viene accostata ad un optional di lusso. Questo non so per quale motivo accade, ma mi auguro che attirando l'attenzione dell'opinione pubblica e politica sul tema le cose possano cambiare. Spero davvero che la mia esperienza personale che ho condiviso e che sto condividendo ora con voi possa servire a sensibilizzare le persone che mi stanno ascoltando. Grazie a tutti.
Thank you very much. Now I have a question for all our panelists. In November 2022, the European Commission presented a proposal to regulate the short-term rental sector to help public authorities ensure their balanced development as part of the sustainable tourism sector. All of us sure sometimes has used the Airbnb or the Booking.com, while these short-term accommodations bookings offer benefits for hosts and tourists, they can create concerns for local communities who are struggling with a lack of affordable housing. While the EU institutions have been elaborating long-awaited new rules, it's a very critical question because big and smaller cities has different challenges, and on the other hand, we have to think of the travelers, the small and medium enterprises also, and the local and protect the local economies who are working in this tourism sector. The new rules will aim to improve the collection and sharing of data from hosts and online platforms. This will in turn inform effective and proportionate local policies to address the challenges. I would like to hear the views of our panelists on the proposal to regulate the short-term rental sector and how regulation should be introduced that would benefit hosts, tourists and locals. Please answer in 5 minutes. Thank you. And I think from this way, Mr. Marshall.
Dziękuję bardzo. Oczywiście to ważny obszar, który może rozwinąć turystykę i też wprowadzić ten obszar wynajmu krótkoterminowego na taki legalny obszar, prawda, czyli nie wprowadzanie tych działań do szarej strefy, ale jeszcze jedną rzecz chciałem tu powiedzieć, bo oczywiście to będzie dowód na to, że często zapominamy o osobach z ograniczeniami, o osobach niepełnosprawnych. Oczywiście województwo podkarpackie funkcjonuje w programie rządowym Dostępność Plus i mogę Państwu powiedzieć, że w ubiegłym tygodniu otworzyliśmy szlak turystyczny w naszych Beskidach dla niewidomych i to jest pierwszy taki szlak turystyczny w Polsce, w naszym województwie w Polsce i podejrzewam też, że też jest to jakaś innowacja w skali Europy. Nie spotkaliśmy się z takim przedsięwzięciem. Myślę, że wracając do tego krótkoterminowego wynajmu mieszkań, chcę powiedzieć, że w Polsce bardzo dobrze i w Podkarpaciu też rozwinął się taka działalność związana z wiejskimi gospodarstwami agroturystycznymi. To wszyscy wiemy, że jest to oferta do osób, które niekoniecznie lubią wielkie, potężne hotele, w których jest wszystko, ale to wszystko oznacza, że jest trochę sztuczne, wszczepione jak gdyby w tą tkankę tej wielkiej budowli, a sami lubią poszukiwać, traktując jako to gospodarstwo wiejskie taką bazę wypadową do różnych miejsc. I to oczywiście dotyczy obszarów wiejskich i to jest takim dodatkowym źródłem oczywiście stwarzającym możliwości zarobkowania, ale jest też źródłem jak gdyby kultywowania tego dziedzictwa, które w tym momencie przekazujemy, pokazujemy. Zaczynam od kuchni, od obyczaju, od prac polowych, od różnych prac związanych z utrzymaniem gospodarstwa. Także to są rzeczy, które też mają taki wielki walor edukacyjny, prawda? I też często z rodzinami osoby trafiają do tych gospodarstw. Myślę, że mieszkania na wynajem krótkoterminowy dotyczą nie tylko tych obszarów wiejskich, ale też obszarów miejskich. Często tak jest, że miasta są taką bazą, taką swoistą bramą do dalszego poszukiwania innych atrakcji. I stąd myślę, że ta regulacja jest bardzo potrzebna. Ja myślę, że wprowadza trochę pewną konkurencję do bazy hotelowej i noclegowej, jeżeli chodzi o bazę turystyczną w każdym miejscu, ale jest moim zdaniem nie tylko konkurencją, przede wszystkim z takim uzupełnieniem i stworzeniem jak gdyby dodatkowej oferty. Nie wszyscy, powtarzam jeszcze raz, lubimy być w potężnym molu hotelowym i po prostu potykać się każdego dnia o dużej ilości oczywiście osób. Także powiem szczerze, że powinno to też dać dodatkowy zarobek, dodatkowe źródło utrzymania, wyprowadzić ten obszar dzisiejszego czasami incydentalnego wynajmowania mieszkań z tej szarej strefy i myślę, że to tylko dobrze będzie postrzegane. A system rejestracji, ewidencji spowoduje, że też w przypadkach, kiedy są różnego rodzaju kłopoty, nie chcę ich tu wymieniać, prawda, często się zdarzają, prawda, różne problemy wśród i turystów, to łatwiej będzie te elementy takie negatywne w tym momencie, jeżeli to będzie rejestrowane, jeżeli to będzie upubliczniane, będzie oczywiście łatwiej temu jak gdyby przeciwdziałać. Są osoby zainteresowane takim wynajmem. Mieliśmy takie spotkania, które pokazywały, że to jest dobry kierunek i myślę, że to będzie dobrze służyło turystyce. Dziękuję.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to ask Mr. EURegionsWeek to answer this question.
The Bratislava region shows a high share of foreign tourism compared to the domestic tourism, more than other regions in Slovakia. And we have in the recent times seen an increased number of accommodation facilities which are available in our region. The growth has been further accelerated by the emergence of the sharing economy, notably platforms like Airbnb and Booking. This trend underlines not only the growing popularity, but also the increasing popularity of Bratislava region as a tourist destination. Consequentially, online housing platforms offer a promising opportunity to boost tourism within our region. There are certain types of tourists who simply choose not to go to the hotel for various reasons, including the protection of their identity, etc. So this Airbnb type of accommodation has a large variety from really hostel type, very cheap houses or apartments up to the very luxury villas that you can rent through Airbnb. And to safeguard the availability of affordable housing for our local community, I think some sort of regulation is necessary. I think there must be a balance between embracing tourism's benefits and addressing the housing challenges. And yes, I will also give you some practical examples. It poses a problem. The problem that I see is that there is no tax and no benefit to the local community, I mean the local and regional government. And the hotel providers or the standard accommodation providers are actually disadvantaged because they have to charge. In case of the Bratislava downtown, it's 3.50 euros per person per night. In other sections of Bratislava, it's only 3 euros per night. I think it's still a lot of money, and the Airbnb and booking platforms simply don't charge this. So, again, I'm coming back to my liberal beliefs. There should be no taxes, but if there are taxes, they should be very low and they should be fair to everybody. And therefore, I'm in favor of taxing the Airbnb and booking reservations, and they should be taxed exactly the same as the regular hotels and other types of accommodation. Also, you know, this term shared housing is very similar to shared drive with Uber and others. And at the end of the day, the money ends up somewhere in the tax haven in the Caribbean, and basically American corporation profits from what should stay in Slovakia, in Hungary, in Poland, and therefore I think that it should be taxed. And the other aspect is an income tax, because As far as I know, and I know a few people in Bratislava who are making a very good living on Airbnb, and they don't pay the income tax. And I'm asking, how can you do that? I mean, 20 years later, there will be a paper trail evidence that you made so much money that year and you paid zero income tax. Who will you explain why you did it? So some of them do pay tax voluntarily, most of them don't. At the moment, the Airbnb is not very willing to share the data to the tax office. I think what we should do on the European level is to push them to provide a reasonable amount of data. And again, civil liberties, protection of personal data, GDPR, these are sacred to me. But I still think that at least the financials should be provided upon request to the local and the central tax government tax offices. I think the pioneer of this kind of housing is actually the island of Cuba. Surprisingly, they had almost no hotels. There was like a Hotel Nacional in Havana. Other than that, there were maybe 3 or 4 other hotels. So whoever came to Cuba wanted to stay with the Cuban families, and this was the shared housing. They did a very primitive but very effective taxation system. They just charged a flat fee per month. If you are renting casa particular, is the Spanish name for that. If you rent the private home to foreign visitors, you pay 200 peso convertible. So there's like $200 or 200 euros per month. And the government doesn't care if you had guests. If you had nobody, you simply pay every month 200 pesos. So, you know, this is something that we could think about when we think about taxing. I had a meeting with the mayor of Vienna about 3 years ago, Mr. Ludwig, and when I asked him about the biggest challenge of Vienna, he told me we need to find a way how to decrease the number of tourists. And this was really funny to me, and he made me laugh, and I said one day I wish Bratislava could say the same. But I know there are places in Europe like Venezia or Florence who are facing the same problem, and basically the local citizens are pushed out of the cities. I give you a practical example. Another issue which we need to consider is the resale of this Airbnb. I have a friend who is renting his apartments, but he's not renting it and not managing his own Airbnb account. He's renting it to somebody else. And this somebody else is offering Airbnb services for like 50 apartments. So 2 of them are from my friend. The rent he would collect for these apartments is around 700 euros per month. It's small 60-meter apartments. And from the Airbnb, he collects like 1,100. So over 50% more. And he doesn't care about anything. The rental company cleans up the place. Even the electricity bill is smaller because when people come to Bratislava on the weekend, they usually spend the time outside the apartment. So even the electricity and the water consumption is lower than if you had a local family living there. And this actually makes the housing less available to the locals, but to me it's a free market. So yes. Okay. And the last thing I said, I wanted to congratulate to you for being the home of the real Budweiser. And beer tourism is beautiful, but sometimes the costs for cleaning and security are quite high.
Thank you very much. And I would like to ask Ms. Dagmar Skadová-Parvová to share your opinion.
Yes, you are right that the shared economy is also a basis for having such tourists, for coming for the one weekend stay and trying to lower the costs for their infrastructural services, but they are using the facilities in gastronomy and they are using all the possibilities in the nightlife, and it's really then demanding for the public service. And it's the other hand of Airbnb and other applications where the tourists, the low-cost tourists, are looking for their accommodation and staying. For me, it's a question of finding the data. We have heard that the data can be resent by the Airbnb itself, but we can also collect the data from the mobile phone, cell phones operators, and we can find out that the people, visitors, are staying in our towns, municipalities for a longer time, but they are not paying the local tax. They are not staying in accommodation facilities like hotels, and we can also use these data for arguing that there is something in a shadow economy where we can find a solution how to raise the quality, how to raise the quality of life of the locals. They will be not crowded by youngsters with beer culture. They will also be in a secure position when the neighbors are not changing every night. And we can also argue that the local budgets will get more money for other public services, for the extension of the offer for public population, and also for the visitors themselves. So I see that there is a time for arguing how to manage that the shared economy will be favorable for our regions, for our municipalities. Because it will not come from the Airbnb itself. We have to push them a little bit. This is my position. We cannot limit it at all, but we can handle it better in the future.
Thank you. And last but not least, I would like to ask Michela Monaco to share your experience about this question.
Grazie della domanda. La città di Firenze, come tutti sapete, è una città turistica e storica, e la difficoltà di trovare alloggi è una difficoltà concreta che sta discutendo in questi giorni a Firenze. È stato bloccato la possibilità di creare nuovi Airbnb in centro, e questo spero possa facilitare nel trovare altre soluzioni accessibili. La difficoltà inoltre è di trovare stanze accessibili a persone con disabilità si riscontra sia nel centro storico della città che al di fuori, purtroppo. È un problema comune. Del turismo accessibile me ne sto facendo anch'io carico come consigliera comunale della città. Ultimamente sono stata delegata proprio nel redigere un piano PEPA, quindi un piano di eliminazione di barriere architettoniche, e stiamo cercando di creare una situazione comoda per le persone con disabilità. Purtroppo di questa tematica non se ne parla mai abbastanza. Io diciamo, ho fatto una carriera politica, ho scelto questa strada anche perché purtroppo mi è capitato questo nella mia vita, cioè lo stare su una sedia a rotelle, ma questo non deve limitare le ambizioni di nessuno e l'accessibilità è la prima cosa che proibisce a una persona di essere equiparata alle altre e quindi grazie a tutti, scusate, mi emoziona sempre quando si parla del tema.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, our time is limited. Thank you for our panelists to share your opinion with us. You are in your everyday life, you see in the local and regional level what are the most important topics, and I think it's a very good opportunity to share with each other our experiences in the different countries. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to seeing you at the ECR workshops next year also. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.